Karnataka is in the thick of electoral action. The state will go to polls in the second and third phase of the Lok Sabha elections on April 26th and May 7th. With both the Congress and the BJP-JD alliance having announced their list of candidates for the 28 constituencies, we can expect intense campaigns and fierce battles over the weeks to come. Having voted a new state government to power just last year, how crucial are the upcoming parliamentary elections for Karnataka? How are the parties placed? And can we expect some post-poll changes? Namaskara. Welcome to Decode Karnataka, a show where we give you the most incisive analysis on everything you need to know about Karnataka. As a flurry of political activity takes over Karnataka, the state is gearing up for a high-stakes bipolar contest this Lok Sabha elections. In the 2019 elections, riding on the Modi wave, the BJP swept 25 of 28 parliamentary seats, while the Congress and the JDS won one each, and the last seat went to an independent candidate. While the BJP hopes to recreate this magic yet again, the Congress, banking on the apparent success of its guarantee schemes, is hoping to wrest a few more seats. To give us more insight into what will most certainly be high-pitched clashes in the state, we now have the Hindu's Karnataka Bureau Chief, S. Bhagyashree. So Bhagyashree, let me begin by asking you what the significance of the upcoming Lok Sabha elections is for Karnataka.
Yeah, I mean, you can approach this question from multiple lenses. For instance, if you zoom back a little and look at the overall southern India scenario, you will see that this last election, 2019 election, if you compare, it's historic in many ways. Like BJP garnered 25 seats, as you have mentioned earlier, and Congress got one, which was like, like a historic thing for both the parties, the highest and the lowest. So, and also if you look at the larger picture of South India, it is 25 is out of 29 in all of South India. That underlines the importance of the Karnataka numbers for the overall national scenario. So, in that sense, that is an impossible number to replicate. At least as it stands today, it looks like BJP will not be able to do as well this time, and Congress may not do as badly this time. So that means that BJP has to look for numbers outside Karnataka as well, and which is seen in the number of visits Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made to various southern states. So that indicates that what Karnataka's role in the larger scenario is. If you zoom in to the more local equations, you will see that this election, there is a lot at stake for both Congress and BJP. Congress has been talking about various of its schemes and the failures of the government, of the central government, and what they call lies of the central government, and what they have been doing, their guarantee schemes and so on. And they would want to keep the momentum that was built up in the previous assembly election and would like to ride on it and show bigger numbers. And another important thing that we need to see is that since 1999, Congress has never had a double-digit victory in Karnataka. So that's a jinx they would like to break, and BJP would like to restrain the Congress from crossing the mark as much as possible, both for local and in the national, its own larger national interest. And when you come to the third player, JDS, it is often talked about how it's an alliance for survival. This time, as you mentioned, the BJP and JDS are in an alliance. And we need to see how this alliance will pan out, because always in an alliance, vote transfer is not mathematical. It's a question of who will gain more from this alliance and who might actually lose is a question that needs to be looked at. And also because if you look at the previous elections, JDS has lost quite a bit of vote share in its own heartland, which is South Karnataka. So whether an alliance here will actually help JDS or help BJP, which is making strides actually in South Karnataka, in the Okaliga heartland, is something to be watched.
So Bhagyashree, among a lot of other factors during the 2023 elections, the Congress's promise of the five guarantees were instrumental in sort of taking them to victory. And post poll, the party claims that the successful implementation of these guarantees has given a boost to workers' morale on the ground. And reports also say that people have adopted the schemes very enthusiastically. But can the Congress rely only on this, or its reliance on this, can it ensure that the winning streak continues in the Lok Sabha polls?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing actually, because of course the Congress government catch line of sorts has been Nudidante Nadadiddeve, like we have walked the talk. So that of course Congress has been emphasizing very hard, and they've also held these guarantee beneficiary conventions and so on. If you remember, like the central government at one point held Labharti, conventions. Guarantee conventions have also been held. That is one part of it. But if you look back historically also, Congress, in Karnataka voter is known for voting differently in Lok Sabha and assembly elections. It's a phenomenon that many poll analysts have talked about since the 80s. They go back to the 80s when Ramakrishna Hegde, the late Ramakrishna Hegde, had won an assembly election and lost badly, Janata Party, badly in a contest that came very close. The two elections came very close. So since then there have been many instances in the past where elections have come very close, assembly and Lok Sabha elections, but the voting pattern has been very different. So BJP, in the last few elections, if you go back, BJP has consistently done well in Lok Sabha elections, irrespective of their performance in the assembly elections. So this is something that I don't know, we don't have a reason to believe that it will be reversed now. Whether guarantee alone can success, or as they call it, success of guarantee schemes alone can ride over this is a question. And of course, in this election, of course, what everybody calls the Modi factor. I mean, in the last few elections, that's one thing we have heard, that will override all other factors. Whether that works or doesn't work, it's a moot question. But this is how it is as it stands today. I don't think guarantees alone will do.
Currently, the Congress also finds itself in a very financially crippling situation after the IT department froze all its accounts, citing some discrepancy in filing of taxes in 2018-19. And post that, the party has given tickets to people with deep pockets, specifically children of ministers or former legislators. And this, while causing unrest within the party, has also given ammo to the opposition of the age-old argument of dynastic politics. Do you think this has been a very conscious strategic decision so that people with deep pockets can then self-finance their campaigns?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a much larger concern, I would say, because elections themselves cannot be fought anymore if you don't have deep pockets, is something that has come to be, irrespective of IT, the freezing of accounts and so on. So it is, I mean, for the past several elections, this is something that organizations like ADR and others have flagged. How only millionaires, how only realtors, businessmen can only contest elections. So deep pockets is a given, like, yeah, in this election, if you see, several ministers' children have been given tickets, and of course the onus is on them to finance them, to campaign for them, and to use whatever is in their power to ensure that they win. Yes, that is a definitely, it's money, power, and whatever, the wherewithal in a larger sense is definitely there. But that is, I think, a larger question one, and that is something that no party can claim is immune to. I mean, if you notice, just after the Congress announced its tickets, where so many of the children and daughters-in-law and
Wives,
of legislators are in the fray. So did you? I mean, we didn't see a great deal of like uproar over it from the opposition, because the opposition cannot exactly claim that it's very different in terms of favoring their own children or their own people. So it is a larger question, but it's hard to pin it only on Congress. Congress has a legacy, yes, but I think it goes far beyond that. I mean, It's something pervasive in politics, and that's a larger issue to be looked at.
As candidates now start filing their nominations and the campaigns get underway, more controversies and debates and dissidents can be expected.
Yeah.
But what do you think the major poll planks are going to be this election season?
So, as far as Congress is concerned, as we discussed earlier, guarantee scheme is something that they're emphasizing quite strongly. That apart, they're also picking up issues of unemployment, unkept promises, what they call unkept promises of the central government, and so on. And also, very specifically, a devolution of taxes has been a big issue, and not clearing, some of the big irrigation projects, not funding some of the centrally sponsored schemes like that promised earlier. These are all the things that they're picking up. And like I said earlier, BJP of course will bank very heavily on the Modi factor, and is expected to come for various campaigns in future. And of course there is the Hindutva plank also, which they will not discard, and especially in the backdrop of the Rameshwaram cafe blast, there has been some focus on it, and how Congress has not been able to secure, keep the security concerns, address the security concerns. And also anti-Hindu, this dubbing of the Congress as anti-Hindu, these will all continue. But what gets prominence as we move forward is something to watch for. And like over the last few years, what we have seen is that BJP is quite an expert in this game, in the sense that through social media campaigns or whatever, to building narratives is something that BJP is good at. And which narrative will gain prominence as we move forward is to be watched with interest.
As discussed, the last elections were historic for both the BJP and the Congress. Will the upcoming Lok Sabha elections be a game changer too? We will find out on June 4th. Until then, tune in every alternate Wednesday to Decode Karnataka with me, Nalme Nachiyar. For more such stories and videos, subscribe to The Hindu.